Welcome, everybody. I really can't believe I'm saying this, but Mashq is happening, actually. So, at last. First of all, I would like to introduce to the stage our own Dean, Dean Shhade, of the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture.
Thank you, Yara. And it's incredible to see the energy in this room. This is really refreshing for someone coming from the engineering side of campus. I'm not sure that I can handle all the excitement, but I'll do my best. So first of all, thank you, Yara and KJ, for organizing this incredible event today. Khajak, where are you? Oh, okay. I frankly am not sure what to say other than welcome to the Manoun Saman Faculty of Engineering and Architecture, and welcome back to AUB, those of you who are our long-lost graduates. We're glad to see you back at your home. I'll tell you that MSFEA today is 2,300 students. There are about 1 in 3 students at AUB. And you know, the loudest portion of them are probably in this building, the graphic design program. Now MSFEA is among the top 250 engineering and technology schools in the world today. Its students are in the top 75 in the world in employability. And the impact of those students in the places that they work is in the top 25 in the globe, 25 institutions in the globe. And I mention that because graphic design has been really an outsized contributor to the impact of our students as they go out into the world. And it's something that we're very proud of here. We have people like Nadine Shaheen, Tara Atrisi, Lara Aswad, Hatem Imam, all of whom have really shaped Arabic type design and its use in the world. And there are many others that I haven't named that are also graduates of this program, but you get the idea. So it is really fitting that we're holding a conference on type design, some 30 years after Leila Musfi started the program at AUB, and really the first graphic design program of its kind that was founded on the strength of Arab typeface, Arab typography. So that's something we also are very proud of here. It's also about 130 years since the first printing press in the region was established here in Lebanon. And does anyone know the typeface for Arabic type? Someone knows it.
It was done in a student project.
Yeah, but do you know the name of the typeface that was the very first typeface in the Arab world? Who said American Press? It's American Press, absolutely. Well done. So there are really deep roots for Arabic typeface and Arabic typography, studying it at AUB. And it's a tradition that we hope to build on. It's a tradition we hope to deepen. And with that, I will turn the floor back over to Yara. And thank you very much for being here and welcoming me to this event. Thank you.
We would like to welcome you to the first Mashq conference. And this conference was planned for 2020, but got postponed for the obvious reasons we all know. And we're very happy to be able to meet you all in person, and we really insisted on making it in person and not online. Finally, today is only possible thanks to the efforts and generosity of our team and the sponsors. And of course, needless to say, I'd like to thank AUB and the Department of Architecture and Design for their full support. And of course, we're also celebrating the new building and the renovation of the new building here. That's why we insisted on it being here. Although we're crammed, we're much more crammed here, but it's good. I would like to start by introducing you to my co-organizer, Khajak Apelian, who is a graphic designer, type designer, educator, and my closest friend, basically. He has been teaching in this department since 2012. Khajak is also the talent behind typefaces that many of you might be familiar with, such as Graphic, Lyon, and most probably the ubiquitous IBM Plex Arabic. And for those who don't know me, my name is Yara Khouri. I'm a type designer. I'm a type designer, educator, researcher, juggling between academia and studio practice for more than 25 years. I joined AUB in 2017 after a long-standing career at Muhtaraf Studio, and I am very proud to have started with my colleagues the Arabic type unit here a few years back. A lively forum for research and a stepping stone for reaching our ultimate goal, which is building the comprehensive Arabic Type Center. 30 years ago, AUB was a pioneer in introducing a full-fledged graphic design.
We don't know who this person is.
Let's go back. 30 years ago, AUB was a pioneer in introducing a full-fledged graphic design program in the Arab region, and the first to integrate the script in its core subject areas. As such, the Arabic Type Unit, an initiative by the faculty members of the graphic design program, is an academic entity researching and developing the practice, the history, the theory of Arabic type design, lettering, and typographic practices. It also plans to centralize resources on the subject by building an archive of historical development, publishing research outcomes, and creating forums of discussion, such as today's Mashq conference. Mashq means to stretch and to elongate. It also refers to a series of sketching exercises that calligraphers practice in order to fine-tune their skills and build their experience. That's for those who are wondering what Mashq means. These exercises exemplify the master-pupil model, where the student practices Mashq by copying the teacher's expertise. The tutor-apprentice, the experimental approach, is what is preserved and passed down the knowledge of the script, and what shaped one of the most intricately rich art forms in the world. The objective of this conference is to continue this tradition of knowledge transfer and to move the profession from a tacit, implicit skill to transferable expertise. By facilitating moments of encounter between students and teachers, as well as practitioners, researchers, experts, and artists, we hope to achieve multiple goals at once. 1, present contemporary practices that have not yet been codified into a set of processes or disciplines. 2, to instigate debates centering Arabic typography, calligraphy, and its adjacent disciplines. 3, to encourage participation by bringing in experts and enthusiasts alike. 4, to engage critically with historical developments and curiously with future ones. 5, to establish and forecast the new frontiers in digital Arabic typography. Mashq is therefore a stage for sharing, a space for learning by doing, and a node in the lineage of passing down ideas. For our first Mashq conference, we curated a lineup of extraordinary speakers. Firstly, we'd like to recognize the long-standing practitioners for their contribution to regional graphic design and for the unparalleled opportunity to learn from the rich knowledge and experience they encountered over the years. We're very excited to be joined by Professor Leila Musfi, a graphic designer and educator par excellence. Camille Hawa, director of Muhtaraf, one of the most prolific design studios. Emil Min'am, a humble legend in the field of editorial design. And the master calligrapher, Ustaz Samir Sayed. Secondly, we selected a group of established practitioners who are shaping the contemporary field and exploring new horizons. Hatim Imam from Studio Safar, here he is. Veronica Burian from Type Together. Naima bin Ayed. Lara Aswad. Nasreen Sarkis. Salim Al-Qasimi, and Jana Trabilsi, our own Jana Trabilsi. Thirdly, we focused on those who have made a concerted effort in archiving and historicizing all of the above. Doctors Huda Abi Faris from Khat Foundation, Bahia Shahab from AUC, the American University of Cairo, and Onur Yazidjigil from Sabanji University. And last but not least, the guy behind the software that makes it all possible, Georg. So, from Glyphs. This inaugural group of speakers exemplifies the vision of Mashq, to highlight exceptional practitioners and to inspire the rest of us. I'm very excited to hear them speak, to learn from their experiences, and for their journeys to become the first steps for a new generation of designers. Kicking off our first lecture, we have to start with our very own Professor Leila Musfy, who will tell us how it all began here at AUB.
Hi, everyone. I'm really very emotionally surpassed by all of this. It's amazing seeing old students, new students, colleagues, friends, everybody. I'm so overwhelmed, really. It's really a very emotional moment. I think it's beautiful, and welcome all, really. And most important, my friend and colleague Samir Sayegh to join us, whom I call my partner in crime, actually. So, خجاك من وين بعمل؟ You see, I'm called Miss Technology 1930s, so bear with me. So, anyway, I'm going to start with my talk is about how it all began. So that's why you had the prehistoric image at the beginning. It doesn't go back that long, but I mean, almost. In spring of 2013, the graphic design program at AUB celebrated its 20th anniversary. What was said then still applies more or less today. A designer is one who gives form and expression to the culture he or she lives in, thus becoming a creator and interpreter of the lived environment. In October 1992, the American University of Beirut launched a 4-year graphic design program offered at the Department of Architecture and housed within the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture. The first of its kind in Lebanon and the region, the program reflected the successful culmination of a vision that had been brewing long before its official launch. One could trace the origins to the late Dean Ghusn, who as far back as 1975 was an advocate of the Association of the Arts and Architecture, in a similar fashion as the Bauhaus. He introduced the Art and Architecture History sequence courses to the architecture program, encouraging and sometimes requiring architecture students to enroll in fine arts courses such as sculpture, painting, drawing, and so on, which at the time were offered by the Fine Arts Department, of course. However, the civil war in Lebanon, along with Dean Ghusn's premature death, delayed the coming to fruition of this project. In the mid-1980s, the architecture program began to explore means for improving the student admission criteria, including elements to measure design and arts aptitude along the traditional scientific scholastic aptitude test. The research and development of the aptitude test was based on similar programs used in some of Europe's and United States' leading colleges and universities. The research revealed the merit of focusing on design at the formative level as the common foundational stratum shared among a number of disciplines, including but not limited to architecture, industrial and product design, graphic design, and fashion design. While the effort was guided by academic and didactic guidelines, the selection of graphic design from amidst the wider range of possible design-based disciplines was informed by the reality of the context, since Beirut was the print capital of the Middle East at the time. This fact would provide the program with a healthy rapport with the industry and marketplace, resulting in real-world feedback, well-supported research interests, and immediate job opportunities for graduates. The launch of the graphic design program, later renamed the Department of Architecture and Design, not only fulfilled the needs and aspirations of the Department of Architecture and the Faculty of Engineering, but also satisfied the ambitions of the university as a whole. The university at the time had been working hard to broaden the range of programs offered, particularly those that supported the larger liberal arts education perspective at the undergraduate level. This would help offer a richer and more diverse educational environment in which a well-rounded academic experience would become a lived reality. The graphic design program at the American University of Beirut steadily grew to become the leading design program in Lebanon and the wider Middle East region. Over the years, the program had become an exemplary model adopted by various schools and universities. Many of these institutions at the time recruited AUB graphic design faculty members to serve as consultants, helping structure their own curricula and advise them on academic requirements. This is a testament to the undeniable leadership and inspiring success of the graphic design program at AUB. Graphic design was practically non-existent in Lebanon and the Middle East during this period. We're talking early 1990s, especially when compared with the West. Before the launch of the AUB graphic design program in 1992, the fate of design resided under the fate of advertising agencies. Post-war Lebanon brought about opportunities for participation in global markets, requiring designers to acquire solid training in the theoretical, practical, and technical aspects of graphic design. The designers had to be prepared for their professional careers according to the needs and requirements of Lebanon and of the region. Now 30 years have passed since the formation of the graphic design program. The program has encountered its share of challenges, so reflecting back on its development is bittersweet. Since its inception, I, for one, have witnessed much change in the program's steady growth. The program's pedagogy has evolved over the years, skillfully adapting to social changes and requirements. Today, designers are more critical of their work, going to greater lengths to ensure that their designs are backed by well-developed strategies, such as when developing a corporate identity. Students are now brought into a two-way dialogue, challenging their thought process and creativity, whereas previously the dialogue was one-way, wherein instructors simply imparted their knowledge to students, the master, as we were talking about. So educating graphic designers in Lebanon, design is part of an environment which in turn is part of a culture. This culture can exist in history, heritage, tradition, values, language, and many additional aspects that form the fabric of a society. The Department of Architecture and Design places strong emphasis on studio classes, as you all know, our previous students and present ones, which offer students a platform from which to cultivate their search for their individual voices as designers. Much of the work undertaken is dedicated to changing and contributing to the design standards of the country and to a certain point of the wider region. With the help of the students, we as designers try to contribute to the continuum of aesthetic and technological innovations in search of new media in relation to print design. The turn of this century has brought about both challenges and opportunities. As a result, we are engaged in a new approach to communication design. Our choice of messages becomes increasingly important. The graphic design program is characterized by two important factors: awareness of the multicultural and multilingual reality in the Arab world, and proactive and creative responsive to the appearance of new technologies. AUB's program attempts to combine these factors with environmental needs by exploring the use of Arabic typography and its coexistence with Latin typography, and adapting it to the computer. This method requires a thorough study of traditional design values, rules, which are the backbone of modern-day formulas, such as the use of the font designs available on computers, new print techniques, television, and the internet. The use of design in an international context goes hand in hand with the worldwide trend towards universal language. At the Department of Architecture and Design, the studio operates as a hothouse that allows students and faculty members to unfold their own visions through the manifestations of a process which can at times be chaotic, conflicting, and yet inspiring. And this is very important. The result is a free flow of ideas, triggering the leap from the technical to the mythical, helping each student find his or her own voice as a designer. In a constantly changing world, there is no single set of dominant values. Today we raise a question. Are we on the verge of sudden dramatic transformations that will infiltrate and affect our daily lives? An important catalyst in design is educating our students. The questions students learn to ask at school may very well be the questions they will ask for the rest of their lives. Our program's aim is to educate a generation of designers and enable them to heal social rifts by developing an international language that is able to address the needs of a multicultural community. Lebanon, a country of contrasts that are currently reflected through its trilingual society, democratic views, and general mixture of influences from both East and West, requires a language understood by both its people and the world at large. The early part of the 21st century bring about changes as drastic as the ones seen at the beginning of the 20th century. Whether we are designers or architects, we have a major responsibility toward today's society. So designers and architects are the new creators of society's culture. If their skills are well utilized, they may instigate the redefinition of the socio-economic and political characteristics of this culture. In addition to adapting to social changes and demands, a designer must also develop an intellectual framework that will enable him or her to offer ideas and solutions to a wide range of design problems. Learning the elements of a new discipline and applying analytical thinking to achieve positive results always presents a challenge. Designers know that they can always improve their work and that the better they are, the more questions they ask themselves. Schools and universities are there to ask critical questions, to further engage their students and offer answers to the outside world. Watching students absorb new ideas and translate them into a wide range of design interpretations is always amazing and rewarding. The advancement of technology has improved our lives a great deal. It made distances shorter and communication better. On the other hand, the awe of the computer age has made us lose some of the essential qualities of design. We do not look at things anymore for the simple pleasure of looking, and we do not feel what we see any longer. This is more prominent with the younger generation, which have opened their eyes to technology. And it's the frustration of the older generation who are trying to keep up with the times and remain nostalgic for the design for design's sake era. Millions of new fonts are now on the market. The younger generation refer to them as designy, trendy, cool. No one talks about proportions, the aesthetic value of the stroke, and the beauty and elegance of a given font. The West is moving very fast, and the third world countries are trying to keep up with them. It has become a rat race. In the region, like in other regions, history is the result of cultures and civilizations that have passed through. This is the basis of the problem that we face today, and at the same time, it's the richness of the history. In Turkey, for instance, you experience a mixture of both Asian and European cultures. In Lebanon, as well, the mixture of Middle Eastern and classical Westerners, which are Mediterranean, reveal history as a result of cultures and civilizations that have passed through. The same concerns apply to Pakistan, India, the Far East, and Latin America. Throughout the last century, Latin America, Central Asia, and Middle Eastern countries have had a strong link with their past, and their heritage have tried to keep up to date in this day and age. Today we have the influence of North America and Europe. The West represents this day and age. Once more, these are the issues that create the problems and the richness of those cultures. These problems have no logical solutions. Solutions cannot come out of a formula or a logical equation. Solutions normally stem out of creativity. The inherent way to address a solution is to take a piece of each, meaning it in history and technology, being the past and the present, and place them together. However, this method cannot possibly work. Another possibility would be to create a balance between history and technology. That would mean that one has to have a thorough knowledge of both the past and the present, which is practically impossible. Furthermore, another option would be to remove the past and replace it by the new. This means that this culture is no longer in touch nor is acquainted with the new. Therefore, this method would be wrong to apply and missing a part from the past. The new has to come from us as designers, since we are dealing with the problem. Still, a further possibility would be to choose some assets from the past and others from the present in an attempt to join them together. However, can it work? What do you choose and who chooses? Finally, the remaining possibility would be to take the spirit of the past and combine it with a full understanding of the present by means of one's own creativity. All these solutions are possibilities and impossibilities. They form the headlines of this millennium. Logic seems logical, but it does not work. We need to feel, see, and understand. The program has produced some of the region's finest design graduates, and many of you are here today, and I'm super proud of you. These young men and women have gone on to excel in their professional careers and academic endeavors, as evidenced by the local, regional, and international recognition they continue to receive. Their strong academic foundation has allowed them to sometimes branch into other disciplines. For instance, many have gone into careers in television, in product design, exhibit design, jewelry design, to name a few. It is said that nothing succeeds like success. This daring and unprecedented vision, realized during a time of uncertainty and distress, was guided by the penetrating wisdom of the administration, the faculty, and the staff, and by their unrelenting commitment to excellence, but perhaps most importantly, by the daring enthusiasm of students and the trust they and their families placed in the value of venturing into uncharted territory to gain knowledge. I would like to end by saying that the creation of an Arabic type center has been discussed for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, it was one of our key conversations with Professor Samir Saigh and myself many years, at the very beginning of the program. And I find it, I don't think it's a coincidence that today we are 30 years since the foundation of the program, that we are seeing the birth of this type center after 30 years of the existence. So I mean, the dates kind of match. So thank you, Yara, and thank you, Khajak, and thank you, Dana Asir, for the fantastic job you've done, and the courage and the everything. I would like to say one more thing. I have several generations of students, but my first ever student is Huda Bifaris, sitting right there. Pre-AUB, before AUB, she was my student at BUC at the time, so she was my first student ever, and then she was one of the first teachers at this program. So, I mean, I welcome you all. I'm thrilled to see you all, and thank you for everything.